Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how do you actually start a trucking company in 2024. Now, 2024 is going to be an exciting year for a lot of people and a scary year for a lot of other people. Which one is it going to be for you? The cool thing is it doesn't really matter who the president is or what the weather's looking like. In this video, I'm going to give you all the tools that you need where you can take control of 2024 if that's something that you're after. If you're tired of having other people kind of control your future and kind of design your destiny around you, then this is definitely the video for you, because we are going to be giving you the exact knowledge, step-by-step guide on how to open and run and start your very own trucking company in 2024. All right, so now, trucking company. Why would you look into the trucking industry for 2024 to actually start a business? There's a lot of uncertainty, like we talked about, in the economy for 2024. Why is trucking such a secure way to go? So the one thing that you do have to understand is the trucking industry is kind of like the backbone of the entire economy of the US, right? So worst case scenario, like when the vid was happening, truck drivers were still getting paid. And that was worst case scenario, where companies shut down, people had to stay home, and people were getting kind of free checks, right? That being said, trucking industry is definitely going to be here to stay and is here for the long haul. The other thing is going to be the need for drivers. So there's about an 80,000 driver shortage currently right now in this economy, which means that there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people who want to start their own business, or people who want to just get into a new industry where they're feeling capped potentially on where they're at, and they want to get themselves over to the next level there. So that being said, let's kind of give you two different avenues on how to solve this problem. Because when you are starting a business, you are a problem solver. That's what entrepreneurs are. Entrepreneurs are people who take big problems and find solutions and provide a service to solve those solutions. There's a saying that I go by that says, the more people you help get what they need, the easier it's going to be for you to get what you need and what you want. And all the needs is a problem for others that we are here to solve. So let's talk about these problems. There's two main problems in the industry. One, there's not enough drivers. So there's a whole lot of freight that needs to be moved, and that can create a whole lot more efficiency there too, right? So the lack of drivers is the first problem, and then the actual lack of efficiency because of lack of drivers is the second problem to be there. So when it comes to this, there's two options that you can use to actually solve this problem. You can start a traditional trucking company, which means you become your own boss. You can potentially hire drivers for yourself, purchase a bunch of trucks, or maybe you want to get your CDL license yourself and you kind of want to get into the industry and become an owner-operator. In that case, you're actually helping solve both options, where you're actually helping the driver shortage because you're going to get yourself in the industry, or you're going to hire people in there. But if you're going to hire people, you're might have a hard time of actually hiring people since the driver shortage is there. And then two, you're also helping the second problem, which is going to be the actual efficiency of it, because with the more trucks, more drivers, the more efficient and the more streamlined things can actually get on the transportation side of the economy itself, right? Or my preferred method of actually opening a trucking company in 2024 is by opening up a trucking school. Now, what does a trucking school problem solve? One, it definitely solves the driver issue, right? So if you want to start your own trucking company, which is amazing, we help people do that all the time. When it comes to scaling and start to grow your company, you might have a little bit of a harder time to actually find qualified drivers. However, if you're the school, now you really have no limits on how much you can actually grow as a company itself. And you're still solving both of those issues, the lack of drivers and efficiency. Because as a trucking school, you'll get good at actually making a bunch of drivers so you can reduce the need for drivers out there. And you can actually change a bunch of people's lives in the meantime and make a whole lot of money doing it. But we're going to kind of compare apples to apples here as much as we can for 2024 on what trucking company you should be opening. So we're just going to be talking about those people who want to open up a traditional trucking business. So these are going to be the steps. First, decide how much money do you actually have to invest. The more money you have, the less hands-on you actually have to be. The less money you have, of course, the more hands-on you have to be. So assuming that most people in watching this want to kind of be their own owner-operator, which means they want to be the one driving the truck, at least in the beginning, to get kind of the handle of things, the first thing you're going to have to do is actually get a CDL license. So in order to actually get a CDL license, that gives you the ability to drive the big tractor trailers, you're actually going to have to go through a two-step process. Step number one, pass a few different written tests to get yourself a CDL permit. And step number 2, pass a 2.5-hour long road test to get your actual license. That being said, once you actually have your license, then you're able to actually purchase your truck, start driving, and get things going. Now, of course, it's not as easy as that, right? Technically, you can purchase a truck before you get your license, but if you got nobody to drive it, you're going to have a hard time doing it. So let's give you the step-by-step guide and how much that's actually going to cost to actually open up your very own trucking company with a truck. So let's talk about what are the startup costs for an actual trucking company in general. So the startup cost for a trucking company, you're going to need to purchase a bunch of equipment. As an example, you're going to need to purchase one of these bad boys right over here, which is a tractor, right? You're also going to need to purchase a trailer if you don't lease one. You're also going to need to purchase insurance, and then you're also going to need to make sure you have all the registration and all the documents in order. So let's kind of break that down. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you want to do these things correctly is set up 2 companies. One company is going to be a leasing company. The other company is going to be a trucking company. This is going to help you out with the liability. This is something that most people do not talk about. So on the trucking company itself, you're then going to have to get what's called an MC number and a DOT number. If you need help with that, there's a bunch of ways, a bunch of people out there that can actually do it. You can Google search it, kind of figure it out on your own, or you can hire somebody who can kind of walk you through that process itself. And that's just a bunch of paperwork from the government, and that's pretty much making a company born. So you just made another baby. Every time you have a number, it's kind of like a social security number, but for a trucking company itself. On the second company that we talked about is going to be a leasing company. Now that company is going to be the company that actually owns the truck. So you're going to be owning the truck through the leasing company, and then you're going to be actually running the trucking business through the trucking company. So that being said, if anything ever happens with the trucking company, at least they can't take the truck from you because that's leased to that other company itself. So that's a good way to kind of mitigate the risk. That being said, once you have the MC numbers and the company set up, if you do need help with that, you can definitely shoot us a comment. We'll send you over an accountant that can kind of walk you through that process if you need it. From there, it's time to actually purchase a truck. Now, what kind of truck should you be looking for? So when it comes to trucks and you're starting off, we do not recommend going for a brand new truck because they're going to break down just as normal as an old truck. So it doesn't really matter that way, because when you're talking about the price difference, brand new trucks are going to be like $140,000, $200,000. You can find a truck very comfortably in like the $30,000 to like $60,000, maybe $70,000 range. That's going to be 200 to 300,000 miles in the beginning, right? And then you can actually use that truck to actually start earning income. The thing about owning a brand new truck is, hey, when you're just starting off, it's probably not the best way to go, especially if you're going to be an owner-operator, because you're going to take care of your equipment. You're not going to put drivers in place because, like we said, drivers are a little bit harder to come by. And then you actually get paid the same amount of money as you would if you're driving a big $200,000 truck. Because think about it, when you're actually transporting a load, no one really cares about what your truck looks like, as long as you can get from point A to point B and as efficient as possible. We're going to give you a breakdown of what that looks like moving forward. So we're going to assume anywhere from $30,000 to $70,000 for your truck itself. Now you're also going to need a trailer. A trailer can be anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 depending on how new of a trailer that you do want. The prices now compared to 2 years ago have gotten a lot more stable, which means the prices have reduced. Prices 2 years ago, we were in a bubble for trucking. A lot of people were trying to get into the industry without the knowledge of knowing it, and then that wound up raising the trucking prices, where trucks that we used to purchase for like $15,000 actually were starting to sell for like $30,000, $35,000, so more than double the price, which is kind of crazy, and that went across the board. Now, once you actually have a truck, you have your license, you have your trailer, you're also going to need to get yourself an insurance. So when it comes to trucking insurance, these things can get pretty expensive. You're talking $20,000 to $40,000 for a brand new driver who can be risky, right? And that being said, they're going to want a big chunk of that as a down payment. So anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 as your down payment for that truck. So depending on how you finance the truck, depending on how you finance the trailer, we usually tell people at minimum you're going to need around $40,000 to $50,000 to be comfortable to actually get things going. And if you're a brand new guy, financing is not easy to do on a truck unless you have like extremely good credit and you have a lot of income coming into you already. But the first time you're actually purchasing a truck, they're going to want a big down payment. They're going to want at least 40% down for your truck itself. All in, we're talking $40,000 to $50,000 to get you started, bare bones minimum. There are people who try to start with less than that. They do succeed sometimes they do fail, but then you're just cutting things a little bit too short, because the one thing that you are not aware of is going to be operating capital. Once you actually start your own company, it's not like working for an employee. You're not going to get paid every 2 weeks or every week on your paycheck. You're going to get paid as a company gets paid, which means that you send an invoice today. Most companies pay you anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks later, which means you're going to have to wait that time. And that time, you're still going to have expenses. You're going to have to pay for fuel costs. You're going to have to pay for insurance payments. You're going to have to pay for any kind of repairs or maintenance. You're going to have to pay for a new tire if it comes up. So you're going to need to have $5,000 to $10,000 in your security bucket for operating capital, especially when you're starting off. And it's going to take a little bit of momentum, but say you find customers who are going to pay you within that 3-week time period. Once you have enough money to support you for those 3 weeks, then every week or every couple of days, you're actually going to start paying again, right? So it's very important that you do understand the cash flow of the business. Understanding driving a truck is completely different than running a business, and that is going to be how to start your own trucking company in 2024. But like I said, there is a better alternative. And that alternative is starting a trucking school for 2024. Starting a trucking school is definitely cool because, one, you could get your CDL license. You don't need one. We actually became our own truck driving school franchise. We're the first and only truck driving school franchise in the country. And we have, I think, like 10 or 11 territories sold already. So we are expanding pretty fast. We just started last year. And the pros of actually starting your own trucking school is that you can actually run this business whether you're a manager or whether you're an owner itself. You are going to need a lot more than $40,000 to $50,000 to start up a trucking school. You're going to need anywhere from $250,000 to about $550,000, depending on the location of the area that you're opening in. As an example, land here in New Jersey and New York is super expensive to rent or buy. If you go to like Wichita, Kansas, it's going to be a lot cheaper than what we have here. But the cool thing is, no matter what market that you're in, trucking is always needed. Like we talked about, the biggest thing that we're trying to fix is going to be the 80,000 truck driver shortage. That being said, when you are running a business like I talked about, it is completely different than driving. So as a franchisee here of Driving Academy, we're going to guide you through the process, everything from start to finish on how to own and operate your very own truck driving school for 2024. You're going to have the ability to change a lot more lives. And if that is the case and you follow our process, you're actually going to be able to make a lot more money running a school than you would be running a trucking company, especially if you're an owner-operator. Simply think about it. The more lives you're able to change, the more money you make. So as a single-person owner-operator, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4 trucks, you're only changing a few lives every day. Now, when you run a school, we'll show you how to change. For instance, here at Driving Academy in Linden, we actually train over 100 students a day. That means we're actually changing over 100 lives every single day, getting closer and closer to their goals. Now, the impact on society is a lot bigger, which means our paychecks can get a lot bigger as well, as owners, as employees, and as our ability to kind of give back. So if making money is important to you in 2024, if starting a business in the transportation industry is important to you in 2024, I invite you to learn more about opening up a school. Or if you're not there yet, no big deal. Open up your own trucking company, but you need to get your CDL license first. If you want to get your CDL license, Driving Academy is the best truck driving school in the entire country. We're here to help you out every step of the way. We're open up 7 days a week, and all you need to get started with us is $500 down, and then we can work out a payment plan for the rest. All right, so I'll see you in the next video, and I hope 2024 is an amazing year for you, because we know it's going to be an amazing year for us. Thanks. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.